Here we are for the first time in a while with a package from eBay, and not Apple this time because I can't exactly afford anything else from Apple right now, or for a while to be exact. Inside of this package should be a lot of two iPhone SEs. That was listed as two iPhone SE second generations, when in reality it's a second gen and a third gen, that I picked up for about $140 total. And while trying to think of what to do for this YouTube video, I realized that just a video of me unboxing these phones would be kind of boring and wouldn't be a very long video and would honestly be kind of pointless to make. But I wanted to make a video about them, so I decided that in this video, I'm going to be showcasing the steps that I follow when I am flipping phones that I find for cheap on eBay for a profit. This video will serve as almost a tutorial on how to do this yourself if you would like to. I'll name some pointers of how to look for listings and how to make your own listings, and just generally how to get started. So typically when I flip phones that I find on eBay for a profit, I will either do one of two things. One, I will buy a phone that is just listed for excessively cheap and resell it as is the day that it shows up, similar to how I'm going to be doing these. Or two, I will buy a phone that is listed for cheap because it is really beat up. These are typically much newer iPhones because when I find them beat up, it's kind of the only way that I can afford to purchase them in the first place. Then I will fix them, make a video about it, and then go on to resell them. Those typically end up making me more profit, but sometimes I find a really good deal, like I did with these, where I don't need to repair them and can still make a lot of profit. Now, I am not going to gatekeep the seller that I bought these phones from. Here is the seller that I purchased these two iPhone SEs from. As of right now, they also have a really solid looking lot of iPhone 8 Pluses up for sale. All four are for AT&T and are 64 gigabyte space gray models, as you can see right here. They're all in pretty nice shape. 3 of the 4 are running iOS 16, and 1 of them is running iOS 14. I was considering purchasing this after sending an offer, of course, because the current price is a little bit steep, but instead I ended up going with these. So again, here's the seller that I bought these from. If you want to check them out, go right ahead. They have quite a few other good big phone lot listings, but if you're looking for a listing of phones to do something kind of similar to what I am doing and have enough money to spend on this, I think this is also a great choice. I don't know how long this listing is going to be up, so if you want these, definitely jump on them quick. When I bought these iPhone SEs, I had to make a decision between 3 different listings. I chose between the SEs, of course, these 8 Pluses that I just showed, and an iPhone 12 Pro Max that I found for pretty cheap that I may be buying after I resell these. Anyways, enough yapping so far. Let's go ahead and get this box open and see what I got. Go ahead and get my knife out. I finally found it. And go ahead and cut down the side of the box. I just almost cut my hand off. That should be deep enough. We'll cut the sides as well. And last side to cut. Now we can go ahead and lift open the box to go ahead and reveal what I thought at first was toilet paper, I will be honest, and 2 iPhone SEs bubble wrapped individually and stuck together. Very nice packaging. Like I said earlier, the reason that I purchased this lot of iPhone SEs is because it was listed as a lot of 2 iPhone SE second generations. As you can see right here, a lot of 2 Apple iPhone SE second generation, 64 gigabyte black, factory unlocked, and AT&T. I was looking through the photos, and at first, all seemed normal. They looked like they were both second generation phones. But when I got to the picture showing the back of the 2 phones, I noticed that the color on the one over on the right seemed a little bit more blue than the one on the left, which I'll go ahead and spell it out for you, means that this is a midnight colored iPhone SE third generation, and this is a black colored iPhone SE second generation. You can see it even better right here. And that is one of the many things you want to look for if you're looking to purchase either an iPhone lot or singular iPhone to flip on eBay. It's pretty rare to find a phone that's listed improperly, but when you do, it can lead to you finding a really, really, really good deal. I'll get into more of the eBay stuff in a little bit. Let's go ahead and finish unboxing these. I'll start with this one. I can't really tell which is which through the wrapping, but we'll find out in a moment. Go ahead and pull out the iPhone SE, and it looks like this is the third generation iPhone SE. Very nice. I owned one of these earlier this year that I bought brand new at Walmart for 150 bucks. Go check out that unboxing if you want to. So I know the color really well. This one looks great. I'll go ahead and put it to the side for now and go ahead and open the wrapping on the other one. This would be the second gen. Pull it out of the bubble wrap sleeve. This one is in quite nice shape as well. I've never owned a black second generation iPhone SE. Now that I've got them both out of the wrapping, we'll just go ahead and see if I can get them to turn on. We'll go ahead and try both at once. And it looks like both do have a charge. Now, one thing I noticed in the eBay listing that you may have noticed as well when I showed it is that this second generation iPhone SE is running iOS 15 still, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. If you know my channel well, you would know that one of my favorite things is holding onto phones that are running older iOS versions. And an iPhone SE 2 running iOS 15, especially a version like 15.0.2, like this one is running, is something that I would love for my collection, but at the same time, I kind of need to resell these. We'll go ahead and take a look at the third generation SE first. Both of them got a finished setting up iPhone prompt immediately. We'll go ahead and skip it. But like I said, first off, we have the third generation iPhone SE in Midnight. There's that color difference once again. Looks like this one has been updated to iOS 18.0. I can recognize from the wallpaper and new settings menu. I was wrong, this is 18.0.1, the latest version available at the time of recording. And I understand why the seller mistakenly listed them as both SE second generations, because in the settings menu, it never says whether it's a second or third generation. It simply just says iPhone SE. You can see this is a 64GB model with no SIM restrictions, with a battery health of 100%. Very nice. We'll take a look at the iPhone SE second gen next. As you can see, you may recognize the iOS 15 wallpaper, an older style lock screen where you can't switch and create other lock screens. We'll go ahead and navigate to settings, general, and about. It looks like I cannot read. This is running 15.3.1. It's a 64GB and is SIM locked to AT&T. I'll see if I can get that unlocked though. We'll go ahead and check the battery health, and it looks like this one's battery health is 83, significantly lower, but at the same time, still not too bad. Definitely usable. Now, before I get on to what I would do next with these phones and how I would list them, I want to go ahead and go over some pointers when you're looking for listings if you would like to do something similar to what I'm doing in this video. And this is going to specifically apply to iPhones. This could technically, I guess, apply to other brands of phones, but I mainly focus on iPhones, and it's where I would apply this. Now, like I said earlier, there is two different ways you could do this. One, you could do what I'm doing in this video by buying working phones that just simply need to be listed at a higher price and resold. You can buy phones that are broken and listed at a lower price, and then repair them and resell them. When you're looking for phones to simply flip as is without doing any repairs, some things you want to look for are listings with errors, such as the listing for these iPhone SEs. These iPhone SEs were listed as two second generation iPhone SEs. Meanwhile, it was actually a second and a third generation. Stuff like this is kind of hard to come by and not very easy to spot, but when you can spot it, you can definitely get yourself one hell of a deal. Another thing that you do want to look for, which just happens to apply to this listing as well, is lot listings. These are also kind of difficult to get your hands on, but when you can find a relatively cheap lot listing, you're going to end up getting 2 or 3 phones for significantly cheaper than you would get them for if you were to buy them individually. iPhone lots are kind of hard to come by for a good price, but when you can find them, it definitely makes things easier. And the big thing that you want to look for if you're just trying to flip phones as is simply just looking for phones that are listed at a relatively low price, and they're listed with the term as is. Now, when it comes to buying phones that you want to repair and then resell to make a profit off of, some specific things you want to look for are devices that are listed as stuck on a charging screen, which most typically just means the battery is bad, which is mainly a pretty cheap repair. Oftentimes, when these devices are listed like this, people do not understand that it's a cheap repair and will list it as if the device straight up does not work. If you want a pretty easy project, you want to look for LCD iPhones. These are iPhones that have home buttons, such as these two, or the iPhone XR or 11, which is personally the ones that I would recommend looking for. Look for LCD iPhones with a cracked display because they are super cheap to fix and easy to get your hands on because people just don't sell shattered devices for very expensive. As an example, I'll use this iPhone 11 listing that I came across the other day. I am not going to be gatekeeping the info on this listing. This is yet another great flip project. If you want to snag this one, go ahead. Find the seller, find the listing, you can buy this. This is a 128GB iPhone 11, which, like I said previously, is an LCD screen iPhone. As you can tell, has a cracked display. The sides of the phone are in great condition, as you can tell from these listing photos, and so is the back of the device. This iPhone 11 is listed at $104.99 plus $7 shipping or best offer. Meanwhile, a good condition iPhone 11 128GB typically sells for anywhere between $190 and $230 or so dollars, depending on the condition. So, like I said earlier, iPhones with LCD displays are extremely cheap to fix because LCD displays cost nothing to manufacture. Just searching up iPhone 11 screen on eBay, you can find hundreds upon hundreds of listings for extremely low prices. Now, one thing I would say to look out for is to not buy the cheapest one you can find, because at that point, the screen that you purchase is going to be extremely low quality to the point where people looking to buy the phone that you repaired are going to notice it on the listing. You could go with an OEM display, which means you could most definitely sell the phone for more money, but it would of course cost you more to get the part. Or you could get a more expensive aftermarket display, such as this one, coming in at $22 for an iPhone 11 LCD. Another thing you want to look for are newer iPhones with a cracked screen and back glass. When the front and back of the phone are both broken, they oftentimes end up getting listed for super cheap because Apple's repair prices are absolutely ridiculous. If the front and back were broken on an iPhone 13, Apple would charge, I believe, upwards of $500 for repair. These can be typically kind of expensive to repair, but are also extremely high profit. Let's say you find yourself an iPhone 12 Pro with a cracked front and back glass for, hell, let's just throw out a price, $110. It's a little bit low, but it's definitely not completely unrealistic. You could pick up a used OEM back housing in good condition for likely around 60 to 80 bucks. You could get yourself a used OEM display for anywhere between 70 to 100 US dollars. If the phone was $110, your screen was $80, and your back housing was $70, that's going to get you $250 in, and you could sell the phone. And as of right now, iPhone 12 Pros in good condition typically go for between $350 and $375. That's just an example. Now, if you're looking to find phones to flip after repairing, you want to avoid lot listings unless you have a lot of money to put into the phones. It'll seem like a great deal until you start buying parts, and then the money just adds up quick. Yes, you may be able to make quite a bit of profit off of some lots, but at the same time, a lot of broken phone lots are overpriced. Now, just some general tips that apply to both sections. You want to most definitely look for devices that are listed at lower prices. I think that one's kind of obvious. If the seller has best offer enabled, make it your life's mission to get the seller to accept an offer. Look for auctions that are ending soon with no bidders, and just add your high bid to it and see if you can't win it. Finally, the most important thing is to always check the IMEI or ESN or serial number before purchasing a phone. Checking the IMEI or serial number will help you discover if the phone is iCloud locked, blacklisted, whether it's under warranty or Apple Care, you name it. This is something that you absolutely need to check, and I cannot stress this enough. If you are trying to flip phones and you buy a phone without checking IMEI numbers first and just go off of the seller's word, you're going to end up getting yourself screwed. Trust me, it's happened to me in the past. So those are my tips for buying iPhones that you want to flip on eBay. Now let's get back to the phones that I bought. Typically, after I unbox the phones and confirm that they're fully working, I'll inspect them for any damage that I couldn't see in the photos or any dirt or grime that needs to be cleaned off of them. Most of the time, phones show up absolutely nasty. But this time I ended up getting lucky. This iPhone SE second generation seems to have some sort of crust stuck down in the seam between the back glass and frame, but this is something that I can basically just wipe away. I took my fingernail to it for just a moment and it's all clean. Speaker grills are typically another thing that I need to clean out a lot. These speaker grills on the two of these phones actually look really good, which is definitely a good sign. Same with the earpiece speaker. Typically that's something that's absolutely nasty on phones that I get my hands on, but these look pretty good. Like I was saying, typically I would take a look around the phones and look for any other damage that I could not see in the photos, and on these, it looks like I got lucky and have not found any. Now that everything has been checked out, it's time to get on to listing these. Actually, I lied. Before I can continue taking photos for these phones and getting them listed, I need to go ahead and see if I can get the AT&T carrier lock removed from the second generation iPhone SE. Just to confirm, I popped out the SIM card and it is most definitely an AT&T one. And one thing I like about AT&T is how easy it is to get the phones unlocked. As long as the phone has been used for some time on the account, I can't remember the exact limit, and does not have an installment balance, I can simply go to their website, put in the IMEI number, and they'll unlock it for me. I think you can guess what I'm about to do. First, I'll grab the IMEI number with my camera just to make things easier. Apple recognizes it a little bit weird. Looks like the last number is a 5. I gotta remember that. Then I'll go ahead and Google AT&T carrier unlock request. Click on unlock an AT&T device. Go ahead and select my brand, which is Apple of course. We'll go ahead and submit an unlock request. We'll select no and simply input my IMEI number. Add the last digit. Looks like it is recognized as an iPhone SE second generation, which is exactly what it is. I'll check the box, click next. And it looks like unfortunately they cannot unlock this device because it is still under contract. That's unfortunate. Anyways, now I can get on to taking photos and getting these photos. so after a little bit of work taking photos and writing up descriptions, I have gotten the two iPhone SEs listed up on eBay, with the third generation iPhone SE listed at $169.99 with best offers enabled, and the second generation iPhone SE listed at $114.99, also with offers enabled. Now I want to go over some eBay listing tips to help you out. I'll use the third generation iPhone SE listing as an example. For the photos, I kept it concise with a main listing photo of the phone on the home screen, a photo under harsh lighting for the screen and back glass, a photo of the settings menu showing no Apple account signed in, the about section of the device, the lower section of the about section showing no SIM restrictions and the IMEI numbers, the battery health, which is 100% for this device, and a photo showing Touch ID successfully set up. 12 photos, and that's all I needed. The description is where all my details are. First, I basically restated the title, explained a little bit about the condition in detail, talked about the battery health, stated that the phone had been tested and was 100% fully functional, along with the Touch ID, stated the battery health once again, stated that the device will arrive erased and ready to be set up for use on any network of your choice as the phone is carrier unlocked, and just a little note at the bottom letting buyers know that if they have any questions, I'll gladly respond within 6 hours or so. And that's all we needed. So one of my main tips for listing on eBay is keeping it concise. Add details, but don't let your description end up being a whole novel. Just a quick paragraph for the condition of the phone, different stuff like Touch ID working and the battery health are good things to point out. Another thing I recommend doing is selling as buy it now with best offer enabled. In my opinion, I've tried selling with auctions and it's just too difficult and takes quite a while. I prefer to sell with buy it now with best offer enabled, and things tend to sell pretty quick. Anyway, now that they're both listed, we now just need to wait for the two of the listings to get some traction, and I'll get back to you guys once one of these has sold. Here we are. So today is now actually Sunday, October 27th. Everything else that you saw in this video was recorded on Monday, October 21st, 6 days ago from today. These phones took a little bit longer than I expected to sell, but nevertheless, of course, they still did sell, and I did still make a profit off of them. But I'll jump into that in a second. Now that these phones have sold and they are technically no longer mine, I need to, 1, get them factory reset, and 2, get them packaged up. We'll go to Settings, General, Transfer or Reset iPhone. We'll go ahead and erase all content and settings. Continue, erase iPhone, and wait for the erase to complete. Now that the two phones are reset and on the setup screen, it's now time to go ahead and wipe them down with a microfiber cloth, get all the fingerprints and smudges off of them, and then go ahead and get them wrapped up. Now for these two iPhone SEs, to package them up, I will be using two 5x7 by 2 inch basic white cardboard boxes. I bought these in bulk off of Amazon. I bought a pack of 25 of these for, I believe it was about 17 bucks, and Amazon actually sent me 50 by accident. So I'm gonna have boxes for a while. If you remember, the boxes they were shipped in, they also included a little bubble wrap sleeve for each of the phones, so I'll be reusing these, along with just a little strip of bubble wrap for each phone for a little bit more protection. Now, just to make it a little easier, I'm gonna be doing this part off camera. First, I'll start by, of course, cleaning all the fingerprints off of the screen and back of the phone. This one's a better example of fingerprints. Of course, the Midnight picks up fingerprints like crazy, but I'll start by cleaning any and all fingerprints off of the phone, making sure they're nice and clean, and then getting them wrapped up nice and tight in the bubble wrap and sealing up the boxes. As you can see, now I've got them both packaged up, just to make things easier for me to remember what package is which instead of having to go off the weight. If I am going to the post office with two different packages, as all my boxes look the exact same, I'll just put a little marker on one of the boxes or both of them while I'm packing them up, just so I can remember what is what. Put a 2 for the SE2 and a 3 for the SE3 just to keep things simple, and I remember which is which in the labels on my phone. Now, time to look back and see what kind of profit I made off of these. So in total, once everything was said and done, the price that I paid for the two of these iPhone SEs originally as the lot of 2 was $139.10. I sold the iPhone SE2 a couple days ago. The order total for the buyer was $105.14, and after eBay's fees, the ad fee, and the shipping label, I received $81.98 from it, which that alone makes up over half of the price that I paid for the two of them originally. Then, just earlier today, I sold the iPhone SE 3rd Gen, and the total for the buyer was $162.95. I brought out $121.31 from this. After eBay's ridiculous fees, I mean $22 in transaction fees, I feel like it goes up every single time I sell something. Anyway, nevertheless, this adds up to a total of $203.29 in my eBay funds balance. And after doing a little bit of quick math, our total profit for these two iPhone SEs came out to $64.19. I'll be honest, for something that I just had to purchase and relist on eBay, wait a week for them to sell and send them off to the post office, Making $65 out of it is not a bad deal whatsoever. So this has been a video showcasing how I flip iPhones on eBay for a profit. I either buy them broken and repair them and resell them after putting some money into parts for them, or I buy them as is, just like this, and flip them because I bought them for cheap. Anyway, it doesn't matter what you came here to watch this video for. If you use this to help you do something similar to what I did, I hope this helped. If you just came here because you were bored, I hope you enjoyed watching this. And just before I go, I want to say, if you're new here, please consider subscribing, as of right now, only 1.7% of my viewers are subscribed. Also, I would like to thank you so much for 5.9K subscribers. That is just absolutely unbelievable. Just 6 months ago, we were at 3.5K. Anyways, the support on my recent videos has been absolutely nuts, so I really appreciate it. And I'm serious, I really don't think that I show my appreciation enough. I wish I had an easy way to actually express it, but I kind of don't. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, peace out, guys.